All right, guys, what's up? It's been a little while since I've gotten in here with y'all, and tonight we're on podcast number 12. I got Mr. Kent here from East Coast Waterfowl. We're going to go over some stuff with him. Met him back at the Dixie Deer Classic 4 or 5 years ago, so we've kind of created a little bit of a friendship, talked back and forth. And I reached out to him and was like, hey, man, I'd love to do a podcast, maybe tell a little bit about your story, where you come from and all that good stuff. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we've been trying to plan times, finally got everything to work together. And just so happens it's the first weekend of the third split, right? So that started Saturday.
Sure is.
So it worked out great. So we're starting a third split, and we're going to jump in here. We're going to do a podcast with East Coast Waterfowl. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and introduce. This is Mr. Kent. So what's up, bud? How's it going?
Oh, going good. Glad to be here. Finally got everything lined up and able to work out times together, and I am super excited to do this. This will be my actual first podcast.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. So surprising. You've done a lot of video. You got a lot of stuff going on. East Coast is actually it has a really big presence on social media, and so I'm surprised. I'm honored to be the first podcast. So
yeah, I'm excited.
I'm sure it'll be the first of many, though, because once people start listening to them, they're going to want you to do more, and they're going to have more questions and stuff like that. So
I'd be glad to come back with you or whoever else, man.
Yeah, and maybe, we should definitely do like a follow-up, maybe see where you're at a year from now. God, 2020's been tough, so I don't know what 2021 is going to be. I know you get 21, you're able to drink, so it might get crazy, it might get better. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll never know. I'll be glad to come back.
All right, well, cool. So right off the gate, I guess we'll just start off with, obviously you're Kent Jones, you're with East Coast Waterfowl, but, who are you? What are, tell me about yourself. Tell me,
So I'm 27 years old. Grew up right here in Willow Springs, North Carolina. Have lived here my whole life, and went to high school here, went to college here, went to Wake Tech. Wasn't nothing really special, but we went to community college, and then I started my career in law enforcement, and kind of lived here ever since. Enjoyed it. Now I have a little son. He is now 3 months old.
Oh, man.
He got married last year, had a son that's 3 months old, and loving life right now, man.
You're doing it all. You decided you knock them all out. You get married, have a kid, the whole nine. You're living the dream, the American dream. It's
That's
awesome.
right, of course.
Nothing wrong with that. So, just out of curiosity, when you're sitting there, okay. So, first thing, when did East Coast Waterfowl become a thing? Or, well, okay, let me back up. I'm sorry. What got you into hunting first? What got you into getting outdoors and passion? We'll start with that, and then we'll work our way into East Coast.
So what got me into the outdoors was my dad. I started off deer hunting with my dad. I remember when I was probably like 5 or 6. My dad had an old beat-up Toyota with a dog box in the back. We'd go to Lewisburg, and I lived for that every freaking weekend, was just sitting there going running dogs with my dad.
That's
I didn't care. I had my little BB gun, but,
Yeah.
I was trying. But that's why I just started getting into the outdoors and loved the outdoor industry, love being outdoors, hunting, being with family, being with friends, having a good time. And so then... But I wasn't really into duck hunting. My dad carried me probably when I was around like 10 or 12. Got my first 20-gauge shotgun.
Okay.
And went hunting to a little swamp like 2 minutes down the road from here. And we went to it was a little teeny tiny hole. And my dad said, the ducks will come right between that V of those trees, and all you got to do is hit them when they hit the water. And I said, well, I'll do my best.
Right.
And I remember the first duck that came in there, they said, well, it's shooting time. And we didn't see nothing for a couple of minutes. And then all of a sudden, they just started pouring in.
All right, hold on. Can I take a guess? What was was the first duck a wood duck?
Yes.
Yes.
Which one do you think it was, a Drake or a hen?
I want to say you got the luck of the draw. I'm gonna say Drake.
No, it was a hen.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, come on.
It is what it is.
Hey.
It was awesome. I was so pumped up. Went out there running after it, picked it up, and my dad's like, "Get back over here. We gotta keep killing ducks. They ain't gonna come in but for a couple minutes."
Right. That's funny because whenever I'm deer hunting and stuff, we always, we try to age deer and all this stuff, but one thing I joke with all my duck hunting buddies, I was like, you never hear a guy say, "Oh, he needed another year," or how old was that duck?
Exactly.
No, if it flies in there, it's getting dropped. Right now, ifs, ands, or buts about it. So.
We don't discriminate.
No. That's awesome. And to be real honest with you, that's kind of cool that you got started with the dog hunting. That's kind of what got me into deer hunting, was hunting with my uncle down east with dogs and stuff. And it's a great way to get kids out there because you don't have to be still and quiet. Yep. Deer hunting is tough, and even with duck hunting, you got to be quiet, but there's some in between time where you can socialize and stuff like that. And so it's a great way to get kids outdoors. So that's awesome. So after you killed your first duck, did you fall in love with it?
Yeah, I absolutely fell in love with it. Well, I continuously deer hunted with my dad for probably about up until I was getting into high school. My freshman year in high school, I met some other guys that were really into duck hunting. My dad would still carry me. We'd always go on like Thanksgiving,
right?
And we always go like when we had Christmas break. We'd always go 1 or 2 times to the same swamp that I killed my first one in, and that one always continuously held ducks and still does to this day,
right?
But whenever I got into high school, I started meeting friends who were like, "Oh man, we love duck hunting." And like they had spots, and I had spots, and then like on Saturdays we would just go and just live for it, man. Every single week that we didn't have school, anytime we didn't have school, or sometimes we even skipped a couple classes. I'll be the guy to tell you, I did skip a few classes to kill some ducks.
There's a couple classes that's okay.
Yeah, gym class and towards in this first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
it's getting skipped, and
I mean, to be honest with you, it's one of those things. I mean, that's the beauty of duck hunting. You get to get out there, get it over with. It, unless you're out in the middle of the country, or you're in the middle of the flyway, it's not an all day event, especially around here. It's a real quick hunt.
Yeah, you got 30, 45 minutes of good hunting, and that's probably about the gist of it. I mean, you sitting there longer and have some big ducks come in, but it's not guaranteed around here.
Right. No, we just don't have everything. Yeah, we just don't have everything, but it definitely is a good thing that you can kind of get in and get out. Maybe before work or before school or whatever.
That's
figure it out.
So we did that, and I really got ate up with it because when I got into like my sophomore and my junior year, because then we started. Back in the day, public land around here used to be awesome. I mean, we used to go out there and kill the crap out of ringnecks and big ducks on like Jordan Lake and Harris Lake, and there wasn't that many people out there doing it.
Well, and I think and God bless them, and I love the Duck Commander boys and all that stuff, but I really think that sparked a fire for a lot of duck hunters that prior wasn't there because it wasn't as mainstream, and it was really just whoever you knew. I mean, even when I was coming up, I only knew a handful of people that duck hunted. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as time has grown, which is a good thing because I do encourage everybody to get outdoors on any level. It's much better to be outdoors than anywhere else I can imagine. So I definitely want to encourage it. But it does seem like when we were younger, there just wasn't that many people going. Even public land, there were just so few people that were actually involved, and now everybody wants to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, like, when we were in high school, not that many people duck hunting, so they'd be like, "Oh, man, we want to go," so that we'd carry them, and all of a sudden, they're still hooked to this day.
Right.
And they still love it, but, like, it's one of those things. Once you do it a couple times and you have a good hunt, and it is fun and it's live action, you're hooked and you're going to be spending a lot of money on it.
Oh, well, it's like anything. That's why I try to keep my distance from it, because every time I get involved, I have to have something else and something else and something else. And so it's a domino effect. But, yeah, no, I've always said I love anything that I can hunt with a shotgun. It's just a great feeling to get out there, and especially, the few times, which I'm not the biggest duck hunter. I've probably only been about 50 times, which in a grand scheme, somebody like you, that's nothing. Yeah. But for me, that's a lot. And so, but every time was great. I had great experiences, great camaraderie. It's just, and that's another thing that you can do with a group versus individually. When I'm in the woods, filming deer hunting and stuff like that, you're by yourself. Turkey hunting, unless I'm going with somebody filming or I'm filming somebody, it's me by myself. So the duck hunting really brings a group, side of things, which is great for everything because the camaraderie and everything is really big. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun to do with other people, and sometimes the more people you have, the more fun you have, depending on
right. That's
how thick the ducks are.
Well, and that's kind of like another thing that got me started into hunting, and I really enjoyed, and that's dove hunting. And
dove hunting's a blast.
Dove days are great to get out there, and it's great for kids and stuff like that, and that's just a good time. So that was another thing that got me started. But so that got you into the outdoors. You got into duck hunting. You got into it. So I guess what I would say is, at what point in time did you decide that you wanted to? Okay, well, what is East Coast Waterfowl? Let's start there. We'll say what was it when it first started, and then we'll go into what it is today. So when it first started, what was it?
So I just had gotten an Instagram page. It was back when Instagram first came out. Facebook didn't own it. And so it was great. It was so easy to grow. I just had gotten Instagram, and with my wife now, my girlfriend at the time, she was like, you need to get Instagram to post pictures of us. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And then I just had gotten a Facebook, and she was like, no, get an Instagram. So finally she bugged me enough, and I got an Instagram. And then I started realizing, I was sending my pictures to Instagram pages, and they weren't posting them. So then I was like, I'm going to make a little Instagram page for me and my buddies. We'll name it East Coast Waterfowl.
Okay.
Now, I Googled the name, make sure it wasn't a thing. I didn't really look into it that much, but I Googled to make sure nobody else had that, and there won't no other pages named that. And started just East Coast Waterfowl. I have my personal page, and I was like, I'm going to start East Coast Waterfowl, and a bunch of my friends that duck hunt, I'll post their pictures, and then
share good times with friends.
Exactly, and so then that's what I started doing. I started the Instagram page, and it just kind of took off from there. And then it's basically just a big group of us that are really good friends, and we still all hunt to this day together. And so that's where it started, and it's where it still is today.
Cool.
It's grown to have a lot more friends, but it's still the same kind of core group of guys that I still hunt with.
I got to say, you got quite a presence today on quite a footprint today on Instagram. Before I actually met you, I had seen East Coast Waterfowl, and I mean, it's just crazy. And now, granted, I think they'd link us up because we're local and everything like that, and I'm sure that they see that. But then, I went from, it was just out of nowhere. It seemed like I started hearing about East Coast Waterfowl, and then I started seeing these hats, and I'm like, and then that's really, I'm sure a bunch of other people that were were there when you first got started, when it was really just pictures. How long was it? Was it just a page for you and your friends? How long was it for that?
Probably about a year and a half. So I started in 2013. So I graduated in 2012, got into college got into Wake Tech at 2013, and I started just, had the page, really just posted all my friends for about a year and a half.
Okay. And then go ahead.
So then when I posted for about a year and a half, people were starting to realize about a year and a half into it, I had about 10,000 followers.
Okay.
My first year.
So I was going to be my next question. I was going to say, how fast did it grow? Did it so a year and a half? So that's crazy though, because 10,000 followers in a year and a half. That's
crazy.
That is crazy. How often were you posting? Were you posting every day, nonstop, or was it sporadic?
When I first started, I posted one time a day.
Okay.
When I first started, one time a day, and then as it kind of grew, when I hit 2,000 followers, I started having a lot more people send me pictures. And a lot of my friends, a lot of people I didn't know. Well, now a lot of people I know today, and we still communicate. But they were post my picture. So I was having a bunch of pictures pile up in my phone. Yeah. I'm I gotta start getting rid of these.
Right.
And so I got rid of them, and by posting 2 or 3 times a day, I post one in the morning, one at lunch, and one at dinner.
Okay.
And that's what I try to do. And so I started posting 3 times a day at about 2,000 to 5,000 followers. I kind of eased it into it. I didn't all of a sudden just go posting a whole bunch.
Right.
But at the 10,000 mark, it had a lot of people send me pictures, and I had a lot of content to try to push out there. And I'm pretty sure that it was only 2 or 3 pages. There's another guy that I know. He started a page about the same time I did, called Them Goose Boys.
Them Goose Boys.
Yeah, and he was growing right there at the same pace with me, and we were the only ones out there posting other people's pictures. So like everybody was sending us those pictures.
Right.
So,
that's cool.
And so then when people started posting, I started posting a lot of people's pictures. They're like, well, man, I got to have something to wear in these pictures that represents East Coast Waterfowl. Like, what can you do? What can you make? And so I was like, man, I was trying to think. So I got some hats, a logo made up, and just by a local guy that did my mom's T-shirts for my dad's grading business at the time.
Okay.
He was making her T-shirts and her hats. And so I went to him. I said, man, I'm thinking about starting this company. He said, well, what do you want to do? I said, make me some hats and make me some visors. I made 12 black and charcoal East Coast Waterfowl hats, 12 brown and khakis, and I had, I think it was 6 visors of like a tan and 6 Max 5.
Right.
And I said, all right, I'm gonna try to get these. And I didn't have the money at the time. I was broke. I was, buying more duck hunting stuff, and than I probably should have. So I was like, about to ask my little brother. I was like, man, my little brother, he's the same way he is today. He don't spend that money. He works hard, keeps all his money, and don't spend it on anything. And I was like, man, let me get $200. I said, I'll pay you back once I sell all these hats. He gave me $200. I went to the guy, paid him for the hats, and all of a sudden, I kind of posted on Instagram I had hats, and everybody, it like, wait, tag, they were just like, man, I need a hat. I seen you posted on Instagram, I need a hat. I couldn't beat people away from my truck because I go to class in the morning for people wanting to get hats.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So I just started out selling them on my truck. Man, I carry a box of hats still to this day. Still carry hats around with me. I got some T-shirts and some hoodies in the truck that I handed out yesterday at the hunt. Still to this day, still carry a box around of hats with me because I always have people around that are like, hey man, I know you. I seen your truck. I seen your truck. I seen on Instagram. I see you out here in the parking lot. You own East Coast Waterfowl. I'm like, yeah. And still, hey man, I appreciate your support. Here's a hat.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to say, I do the same. There's at least 3 or 4 now. I don't sell nowhere near the apparel as y'all, but that's awesome. It sounds like to me you went from like maybe 5,000 followers to 10,000 followers. That's probably about the time you picked up the apparel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then from there, did it just go from there to like boom, or was it the equivalency of getting your name out there, like with apparel, that drove people back to Instagram, or did it?
So. I think it was.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Man, where'd you get the hat at?" And then, because a lot of people, then they're like, "Well, I follow this page on Instagram," so they'll go follow it.
Yeah.
So at the time, in my first year, I gained year and a half, about 10,000, and then the second year, I was at 35,000.
Okay.
And then my third year, I jumped to 82. I think it was 82,000. Then my third year, hit kind of a lull, and that's when like Facebook bought Instagram,
right?
And I only got to like 82 to like 100,
right? I think I started following you in that 80 range.
Yeah.
I probably hit around that third year, and that's when I picked up, and because I watched you go, it seemed like to me, I watched you go from 80. It went really slow to 100, but then it seemed like it went from 1 to 120 pretty quick.
It took about a year to almost 2 years to get to 120, and then it took forever. And then so this year I started in 2017, so this is like my 7th year, and like this past year I had to find the picture because I screenshot it at the beginning of the year every year how many followers I have. But I think I was only at like 142, and I only gained like 10,000 followers a year. But it's like all my posts aren't getting out there like they should. I think Facebook, they want you to have, if you have a lot of followers, they want you to pay to see them. Your followers, you have to pay to see your followers.
And at the beginning, I usually do this in every podcast, and I forget about it, and I'll do it now. But and you need to go follow East Coast Waterfowl. But the one thing that I've noticed, and granted, now I'm small potatoes in comparison to Kent and East Coast Waterfowl, but I already feel the blocking of our content because we hunt. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And so I think the bigger you get, the more they try to drive you down, and so they don't want you to. I guess it goes against the narrative or whatever, the bulk of the community or whatever. So it's not always a positive thing because we post dead animals, and so. We try to keep it as clean as possible, but it's not always, it is what it is. But yeah, make sure you go check out the YouTube. Make sure you're at Southern Release at Instagram, East Coast Waterfowl. Definitely go do it. And then the biggest thing, I don't know about you, but the biggest thing for me is sharing. So when people actually share your content, that goes way further than and I've noticed it. I actually get more followers when somebody does a organic share, when they share and then include you in their own stuff versus sharing something I already posted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of times, like on Instagram, you have your heart in your comment and then your little share thing.
Yeah.
I can see when people like share it.
Right.
And the videos that people like share to their friends, like in Instagram DMs, get so many more views than anything else. So like if you see one of my pictures, one of his pictures, and you want somebody else to see it, like don't be scared to share, because we love seeing that.
Yeah.
And commenting. There was a little while back. There was like a little thing where I got into a group and they're like, man, Instagram's algorithm is if you comment on other people's posts, it gets more views. And I tried that for like a month and it didn't do anything.
I got to say the DMs, you're right. I see a lot of people saying that if you send it to somebody's in a personal message, for some reason, it's almost like they think you care enough about it to where they'll kick it up or they'll take the. It's crazy. And the bad thing is, and here's the worst part about it is they change the algorithm every year. So about the time you figure it out, they flip something, and then now you got to start over again.
100%. It's so hard, and that's one of the struggles that I've had growing within like the past 2 years. Once Facebook bought Instagram, it's like everything's changed. Like up until the point where before Facebook bought Instagram, you could grow so much,
right?
And a lot of it was like if you did like a paid shout out. Like you have one of these other pages that had 100,000 followers, you have 1,500 followers.
You could pick up 1,000 followers overnight.
Yes,
like
nothing. It was crazy. And
yeah.
like anytime I had big sales, when I first started, before this is way before advertising. Like advertising was not a thing on Instagram. They were I would do these like paid shout outs. I'd go to these like truck pages that are like at 150, and then like the most I ever paid for like a advertisement for like a Black Friday sale. I had this page. I can't remember. They weren't anything outdoors related, but they were all truck stuff. I was like, well, most people have trucks. They may be in outdoors. Who knows?
Right.
And I just had launched my khaki coffee Woody. And I knew that they would sell really good, so I went ahead and bought. So a case of them is $144. Okay. I bought 2 cases on the week before Black Friday. So I was, that'll last me enough to get me through Christmas. Right. And paid that like it was $350.
Right.
To do this page shout out for the Instagram page, and the next day I had 288 on my website, little rinky dink website I had.
Yeah.
I had all those sold the next day.
Nice.
I was like, wow. I said, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And that's when it kind of took off. But back in to get back to the selling hats out of the truck, that's it really started picking up once a lot of people started following me, and we got I got my own like a little warehouse in my room in my house I live in now. I had like a big room. I had all these racks in there. Right. And I put all my hats in there and started selling out of the house, and had a little office in my was my closet now, but
I got to say, you went from you went from carrying around like 12 hats in your truck to trying to say Black Friday I need 2 cases of hats. If you had to put on a thing, you probably know down to the hat, but if you had to say right now how many hats, how many shirts, how many hoodies stays in stock because the demand is high enough to where you have to do that or you'll run out
today?
Yeah.
Right now I'm low on hats, and I have about 4,000 hats in stock right now.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's crazy.
You know something? When I started when we started doing hats and stuff, and we would do videos and stuff, and I would push the hats. Everybody's like, "Oh man, you're just selling hats," and I was like, "Yeah, but I mean, like, I know a bunch of guys that are making a killing off of hats, And I wanted to be like, personally, I love a hat, but you know what I love even more? I love a decal.
Yeah,
because nobody takes the decals off. They put them on and then they ride them around all over creation, and they never come off. But the hats get wore out. They might come back and get another one. They might not
switch it up.
Yeah, you want something else, but
Yeah.
but the decals have always been number one for me. I love seeing people say, "Hey, can I get a decal?"
Yeah. And I give away a lot of decals.
Well, and
on orders, like say if somebody orders like $75, I'm throwing a decal in there.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I actually think that they pay for themselves. I actually give the bulk of my decals away because I feel like they pay for themselves just from the exposure and stuff.
And when people see them, like they're cooler and they're at the beach, or they're like, "Dang, I like that sticker." Or like,
right.
Well, they'll be able to go on the website and look at see the other stickers that and then it may fit them because I have stickers with like dogs on, like a black lab, yellow lab.
Right.
Like, when they see that decal on someone's cooler or something back in someone's truck, and they see a black lab, like, well, man, I have a yellow lab, but they got a yellow lab. Yeah, I got a yellow lab. Or like, they purchase them that way. And if I give one away, I feel like I sell 2 or 3 of the same ones eventually.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They pay for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's another thing too with your apparel and stuff. You kind of personalize them a lot. I've seen you go through like the state patches, the different ducks, the different dogs and stuff like that. And so, is that just something you were just like, I just want to give everybody an opportunity, or?
Yeah. So the state patches was. My hat, the lady who does all my designs, she was like, "Yeah, you should do something with state patches." I was like, "I definitely want to do, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. That's my that's the core, right here on the East Coast for hunting wise in Maryland." So I got those, and they did really good. And then of course, I had people like, "Oh, I want Florida, I have Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas," and then I got a little bit on the out there when I started getting to Wisconsin, and people. I had a bunch of people want those, and I got them. But then once I got them, no one else really bought them. So I bought 24 of them.
Right.
And I sat on them for 2 years.
Right.
Because the 12 people who wanted them bought them.
And then now you've got, And
I just ran into that issue last year. I had a ton of state patches that, it was hot. It was hot in the fall of 2018. It bled through all the way to 2019, the Christmas time. It did really good in 2019, and this year the whole beginning of this year, it kind of faded out, the whole state patch thing. But then gotcha. I started asking some of my retailers, like, "Hey, I know a lot of y'all sell just a North Carolina patch and a leather patch. Is that stuff still selling for y'all?" They're like, "No, it's been sitting on our shelves." I'm like, so I guess that was that fad where a lot of people wanted the state stuff. I hit it at the right time, sold it, and then now this past pre-Christmas season, pre-duck season, I got rid of a ton of those. So I was doing a deal where you buy a hat, a regular hat, or a hat or t-shirt, and I'll give you a state patch. Right. You can ask for the one you want, but you may get Maine and you ask for South Carolina. Right. Because I don't have the South Carolinas anymore. Right. That's cool. So I did that, and I kind of like the dog stuff. The dogs kind of I got the black lab, the yellow lab, the chocolate lab, and then so once I got those and started selling them, people were like, "Oh, I want a Boykin," so I got a Boykin, and then I got a Chessie, and then now people are like, "I want a Pointer," and I'm like, it kind of just leads into that. Yeah. But decals, people are always into decals. I probably won't put any of that on a hat, maybe. Right. But for right now, definitely a decal.
I got you. So okay, I've got to ask, what's the weirdest piece of apparel that you have? What's the craziest? I mean, I've seen duck calls, I've seen whether it's on somebody else's duck call, but I've seen your logo on a little bit of everything. So what's the craziest piece of apparel that you've either got, sold, or had at some point in time?
A dog hat.
A dog hat? Yeah. You had a hat for a dog?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Did you buy a box of 12? Or is this...
I got a sample of 2.
Okay.
I paid $100 for a sample of 2.
Okay. And so I got, without saying who, I mean, what state did this person live in? Was this a local person?
I couldn't even tell you what state. It's the people who make my collars. My collars and my leashes. Okay. So I got dog collars and dog leashes made this year. Okay. And she was like, I see you sell a lot of hats. Like, what if we give you a hat for a dog? I'm like, this is going to look so dumb. And I was like, well, I said, you know what? I'll try it. Because you got to think outside the box. Yeah. People love spending some money on their dog.
I got you.
But then I was like, I'm going to look at it. I'll see what it looks like. See if my dog likes it, or my dad's dog likes it, or some of my buddies' dogs, see if they like it. And my dog, she's crazy. And she may not actually like the hat, but some of the other dogs might be cool, more tolerant and stuff. they may wear it.
Right.
And so she was like, well, what do you want on it? And I was like, well, the best selling thing I have is the wood duck or the mallard. I said, can I do me one of each?
Right.
And so I did that, and it was like, it took like a couple months for it to come in, but it came in, and I looked at it, and I was like, wow. This is ridiculous. I said, well.
See, I thought for sure, I thought it was going to go to like boxers or something. I was like, nah, it's a dog hat, dude. Like, that's crazy. I would have never guessed that.
I was like, who has a dog hat? And I was
That's
like,
funny.
I guess since they sell them, I guess somebody.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if it's a product, it caters to somebody. I mean, not everybody. I would think so. Tell me this, and the only reason why I say this is because I saw you the other day. You were coming home from hunting, and I saw the story. I think you were hunting with some people.
Yeah, Wet Feather Outfitters.
Yeah,
in Hyde County. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have a cover for the dog boxes?
I do not. No.
That's a good one.
That is a good idea. That's a really good idea.
I got to say, because it's in the back of the truck. People going to see it. It's a good cover, and your name's on it. I don't know. I like that. I saw that cover on yours, and I was like, I wonder if he's got that for his guys.
I probably should send that to the people that make like my vests and stuff, because they can make anything you want.
Right.
I bet you if during the summertime, if I sent them my cover to my gunner kennel, I bet you they could do that and make a design on it.
Oh, yeah.
Put my logo on it sure.
And it's
maybe better quality, because I'll be honest with you, the gunner kennel cover I got right now, it's got 2 holes on it.
Really?
And it's falling apart. And I've only had it for a year, 2 years.
Well, I'm going to say that's a good one. It's in the back of the truck right down the road. I love it. Well, just keep me in mind when you make all them big bucks.
Hey, I'll give you a little cut.
Yeah, right. So no, that's awesome. So that a dog hat, that's crazy.
Yeah, and so I was like, you know what? Penny didn't like it. None of my friends' dogs, they didn't like it. And so I gave them away on a live stream one day. I had doing them every once in a while. I'll do like a live stream where I have like a bunch of stuff that people send back. hey, this one's flawed. The hoodie has like a little cut in it or something.
Right.
That I didn't catch when we sent it out. And so whenever I send them their new stuff, they'll ship me back the old one, and I'll put it in a big pile. And like probably about once every 2 months, I'll do a live stream like, hey, I'm just giving away this, and here's this. You email your address, and I'll send it to you.
Right, that's awesome.
I gave it away to somebody. Somebody's got to have for their dog.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh man. So all right. So let's see. We've got all right. So how many followers do you have right now?
157,000.
157,000. Yeah. I think I've got 5,196. So
hey, it's hard to grow, man. I'll be honest with you. If I started an Instagram page today, if I was to start one tomorrow, like I've had the fishing, the Real Addicts one.
Right.
Let's see how many followers I have right there, and I've had that for over a year. And it's hard to grow a page.
It is
that's
tough.
Fishing. There's a lot more people who like fishing than there is people who like hunting, because
right.
It's a little bit more accessible.
Right. No. Yeah, you're right.
And I don't know how many. I'm trying to
say, of course, it won't pull up when you need it to.
Exactly. But we'll figure it out. But I think it's only like the 4,000 or 3,000 mark, and I've had it for over a year, and I've promoted it through my page, like East Coast Waterfowl, like promoting it through on there, and like it's hard to get people to.
It's tough to grow, man.
Move it over.
That's like so outside of Instagram, I would say Instagram's probably your main hub, correct?
Yes.
So outside of Instagram,
selling, Facebook is.
Really?
I have 57 or 58,000 likes or whatever it is on Facebook.
Right.
But I sell more on Facebook.
Okay. I wonder why that is. I don't know.
I think a lot of it is family members, like the older generation, like the people who are kind of in that range where they're in Instagram, but they're not really in Instagram. They're still on Facebook a little bit more.
Right.
I think those people are the ones who are actually buying the stuff for
okay, because they know that their nephew or their son or whatever wants it, and so they'll get on there. That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
But it's weird. But like I'll run ads on Instagram and I'll run ads on Facebook, and Facebook would be so much better. Really, it's crazy. I mean, it blows my mind because I have more. I guess it's easier to buy on Facebook. I guess
maybe so. Maybe
people trust it. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe and with Facebook, I think you can link to each post, which I don't really like about Instagram. You can't actually add a link.
I can add a product. They just added that.
Right.
I can tag a product in the comments, but that has not been doing that great either.
Yeah, well, you're bragging. I can't. So you got to reach a certain level. You got to have at least 10,000 followers before you can do that.
You're serious?
Or before you can swipe up. So, like, I could send you to a link. So, right now, in fact, I made a joke on it a couple months ago. I posted a video that we did, and I was like, swipe up to watch. And then the next one was like, I'm just kidding. I don't have enough followers for that. But, you know, when you hit
awesome.
when you hit 10,000 followers, you can add the swipe up thing, or you can add the product to where you can actually go to the website. And
even if you list yourself as a business.
Yes, we are listed as a business. And we still can't do it. Yeah, you've got to have a certain amount. You know, TikTok, I don't know how many you have in TikTok, but you have to have 10,000 followers to go live on TikTok.
Did not know that.
That's crazy.
Did not know that at all.
It's crazy. And then, you know, you have to have so many subs and so many views and all that stuff on YouTube to get monetized. I just
got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've been trying to grow that for like 3 years.
Dude, I've been doing the same. I'm at like 318, 320. Now, what I will say is that the people that are there are loyal. And they share and they like it and they get it out there. They're very loyal. But YouTube is another tough one, man.
It's tough. And then I know pretty much with YouTube, you're not gonna get paid if you're doing anything hunting related.
No. You can't monetize anything where an animal gets hurt or anything like that. So the only thing you can really do, and I think a lot of these other companies like Seek One and stuff like that, I think what they do is they get views up on the hunt and then they monetize the stuff outside of, and when they're doing like tips or gear or something like that, or they're getting paid from the actual people that are the equipment that they're using and stuff like that, and then that kind of helps.
I've seen people do like the beginning of the video. They're like, "Hey, you know, this video is sponsored by so and so."
Right.
You know, and I guess that's how they make.
It's a behind closed doors type thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I got to say, YouTube, all that stuff. You know, we try to use it, and at the beginning of it, just like it's a great free way to produce stuff, and so unfortunately, well, I ain't gonna say unfortunately, for you, it didn't start out as a business. It started out as just having a good time, everything like that. Then it turned into like, well, I don't want to capitalize on this because I got a lot of people liking this, asking for it. I might as well try to do something with it. So that makes the most sense. But where are your hubs? Where do you have social media at?
So I have Facebook, of course, Instagram, of course. I have TikTok. TikTok is at East Coast Waterfowl. I had one video that when my boat broke down, me and my wife were just riding the boat around, having a good time. We were down there. We took out of or put in at our campground there at Goose Creek, and then was just going to drive to it's like the military base,
right?
Straight towards like Surf City on the in the waterway, and it was a Saturday afternoon, just cruise. We were just cruising, having a good time, having a few beers, and sitting back and relaxing, just riding, and all of a sudden my boat goes, it goes and just stops, and I see gas and oil leaking out of everything, and we hadn't passed the boat in probably 20 minutes, and I was like, Emily, we're out here. I said, I don't know what we're gonna do. It gets dark in like 2 hours. I said, we better start calling. So we started calling everybody. Nobody. We barely had service. Our phones were about to die. And I was like, well, we got enough beer to last till the morning, so might be all right. But luckily, we had some guy come by on a brand new blackjack. He was doing the same thing. He just had bought the boat. It was, I think it was a 23 blackjack. And him and his wife and his 2 kids were on it, and they were taking a cruise. And we waved. They passed us, and we're trying to wave them down. And it's what the guy won't pay attention. And the wife taps him and lets him know we need help. And they turn around, and the guy's like, hey, he's like, oh, cool. He's like, you need help? I was like, yeah, man. And he was like, what's up with the East Coast Waterfowl? I said, well, I own East Coast Waterfowl. And he's like, you gotta be kidding me. He's like, no, I'm being for real. And he's like, man, I have one of your hats. And he says, oh, it's crap. I said, man, if you pull me back to at least Swansboro, I'll send you a box full of stuff. And he's like, oh, no problem, man. I'll get you to send it to, he owns the mulch place right there in Cape Carteret.
Okay, yeah, and, I know exactly where it is.
Out there on 58. And he was like, man, I'll send you. I was like, I'll send it right there, man. I said, just if you can pull me back to Swansboro, that'd be fine. I can get my dad's friend to come pick us up. Well, on the way back, it was getting kind of dark. And my dad's friends came and picked us up from Swansboro on his boat. Well, we got a viral video from Swansboro to Goose Creek when I was just messing around. And I was like, hey, toss me a beer from their boat to my boat.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. And so that's awesome.
That's where it was. It got 7.6 million views on TikTok.
Crazy.
And I got like 20,000 followers from that video. And then I've grown I'm like 38 now on TikTok. 38,000.
That's crazy.
But like, it's hard to get videos to go viral on TikTok now. But like in the beginning, like my first 4 videos got like a lot of views.
Oh yeah.
But like we got that Luke Combs, he reposted that video.
Yes, he did. Yes.
He reposted on his Facebook, his Instagram, TikTok. And he put it on his story.
Yeah.
But the only bad thing is he didn't tag me in any of it. But it was on the TikTok East Coast Waterfowl was on there. So I was like, that's cool, whatever it is.
Yeah, you take it when you can get it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I tried to get up with somebody from his thing to give him some hats, but it was nearly impossible. I still haven't got anything, but
I'm sure.
I was like, well, yeah, at least I gave it a try.
I got to say, and I'd love to see an East Coast Waterfowl hat on his head because he's another North Carolina guy.
Yeah, he sure is.
I love to see that. So that's crazy.
But, so I got TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't have I have Twitter, but I mean I don't even know my password.
I can't keep up with Twitter, dude.
Yeah, and it's too much.
I tried. I've got one every once in a while, like randomly. I'll be like, it's deer season. I don't know what to say. You can't. I just don't know enough about Twitter.
Me neither. And I think that was really big when I was in like middle school. And it got. I mean, I think there's still a lot of people that use it. We know Donald Trump; he still uses it.
Yeah, I got to say, yeah, it's turned into a political thing in my eyes. That's what all Twitter is. It's like a WRAL for social media.
Yeah. So I don't ever get on there, but I don't have anything. That's pretty much it. I have Snapchat. But Snapchat is kind of like my personal and my business.
Right. Yeah. Parler.
What is that?
Parler? Oh, you don't have Parler?
What is that?
I don't know. That's everybody because Facebook's kicking people off. So
why is Facebook? Well, see, my thing is I don't get on Facebook. I have my advertising guys. They do all my Facebook stuff.
Okay.
But like, anytime I post on Facebook, it's only because Instagram lets me
because it shares it
there. But like, I don't go on there and like.
Well. As long as you don't put like I think you had some Trump patches or stickers.
They have
or whatever.
my Trump decals. I wish I would have got those 4 years ago, and I'd probably be a lot richer right now.
Yeah, right.
But I sold the crap out of them. I'm still selling the crap out of them, even though we only got like a month or two. Hopefully, 4 more years.
We'll
we don't know. We'll see. Whatever. But I'm still selling those a right good amount of those. But that anytime I put Trump 2020, it was putting up the political link, and they were getting no views whatsoever.
Right.
And I was like, really? Just because it has worked?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's why people started going to that Parler thing, which I don't really know what it is. I started one, but I have no idea how to use it.
It's called. How do you spell it?
Parler.
Parler. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd look into it. So it's basically like a Facebook?
Yeah, it's. I would think. Well, it actually might be more like a Twitter, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It don't seem like a Facebook. You can't share videos to it as easy and stuff. I'm just now figuring out how to share a bunch of stuff to Instagram and like really customize my videos and share them to Instagram. Yeah. And what I'm doing is I'm making them for TikTok, then sharing them over to Instagram and stuff like that.
Now, are you able to do IGTV?
Yeah, I can do IGTV. Yeah, I can do that.
No, I've had some good videos do good on there, but
it's kind of hit or miss for me. I haven't once I figure it out, they'll change it. They'll change it.
Yeah.
It is
just like the reels. I mean, I posted on TikTok. They censor you a whole lot more than they do Instagram.
Oh, dude, I posted a video of me shooting the deer right over here.
Yeah, and
it was just like, and I mean, I edited it like really down to nothing, and 10 minutes they were like, "We have removed your content." I was like, "Whoa,
dude." I bet you I've had 15. Like at one time, I had 8 videos in a row get taken down, and then I finally was telling my video guy Chad, I was like, man, make me something where there is no ducks dying, like no dead ducks, no just ducks flying. Right. And then like the dog going and getting the duck that's like this teeny tiny.
Right.
That you can't see, but the dog going to get it.
That's the only way I could get it to post was I had to chop it down to where you can see the arrow leave the bow and that glow start and then it's gone, and then the next thing is me with the deer.
Yeah.
And the deer's all cleaned up, so there's no, it looks like I'm holding a live deer. So
man, but like I'll post. So the ones that get rejected on TikTok, I'll just post them straight to my Instagram reels, and they do fine. They do really good.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I got to say, I don't know what the deal is, but TikTok's definitely harder on that.
Yeah. Do you have? You can do reels too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we can do reels.
I finally have had a reel that was really good. It's got like 200,000 views.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't done that many real. I've been really slack this last couple of weeks, probably last 3 or 4 weeks. I've been really slack on my Instagram and everything all together, and even with the YouTube, we've been needing to get out there and make some stuff. But I've been dropping the ball. It is what it is. But I need to get back into it because it's the new year. We're coming down to the last couple weeks of deer season.
Yep.
I think duck season goes till
January 31st.
Is it the 30th or the 31st?
Well, I'll have to see what.
My birthday's on the 31st. I think it's the 30th.
What's the last day? What day is your birthday on?
Don't get me to line. I just thought I thought I was looking at it the other day. We're gonna do another.
30th is a Saturday, so you're right. The Sunday says the 30th. It's the last Saturday in January.
Yeah.
And then you got snows until like end of February or March, beginning of March.
Yeah. When I'd like to get after some geese. We're gonna January 7th. We're gonna head down and do another swan hunt with Conmans. I don't know if have you ever been down there?
So a funny story about Conman is we went fishing. We went down to Phelps Lake to his house. I guess it's his house and all his property or whatever.
Right.
And me, my buddy Philip, my buddy Tommy went down there to go bass fishing on the lake.
It's a great lake to bass fish.
We had a great time. We fished, but as soon as we pulled in there, we seen 2 bears, and they had a tent, and we cooked on the grill on the fire or whatever. And Conman was like, man, you might want to hide some of your food and stuff, and make sure you keep in the truck, your trash in the truck. The bears are coming. I said, man, I ain't sleeping out here. I'm sleeping in my truck. I already seen a bear. I ain't trying to get nowhere close to the bear.
I'll tell you, I went down there in Turkey.
That's the only way I know him. But he, sorry to cut you off.
No, you get...
Conman's daughter,
Haley. Yep.
She is dating one of my friends that I met through East Coast Waterfowl.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of cool to see them together. And and then last year I shared their video on my page where they killed a bunch of those swans and trying to help promote them, because anytime anybody says, hey man, I got my swan permit, where can I go? I was like, Conmans. I go to Conmans. Always we go. The birds.
We went last year. We had a great time. I made a video. Carson nor Haley were able to be there. Hopefully they're able to be here this year. But yeah, we look forward to that every year, and I went turkey hunting there this last year, and I saw a friggin' gigantic bear. I don't know where she had 2 cubs with her. I don't know where she's at now, but she was big. So somebody down there is probably gonna get lucky, and they just. We were talking earlier. Somebody killed some big bears down there.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of 600-pound ones I've seen kill at Dare to High, but like the 671s what I seen on Snapchat today was the biggest one killed. And I asked the boys yesterday, some of the bear guides that were down there at the store yesterday morning, and I asked them, I said, there been a 700-pound one killed this year? And they said, no, there's a lot of high 600s, but no 700 yet. So
I got you.
That's a big bear. Like 700 pounds, how is he even still walking?
600 pounds is a big bear. Yeah, that's a big bear.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we'll get into the last little bit of it, and we've got you made a post earlier on your Instagram. We'll try to reach out that and ask that after we go through these questions. But so where all have you hunted?
Hold on.
Yep.
Gotta get some of that goat juice.
Yep. So where?
So I've hunted North Carolina, of course, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. I hunted in New York once with some geese.
Okay,
that was a good time. That was a lot of fun. They live for a goose up there. It's hard to kill geese around here because there's so many people doing it up there.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
You go over to my family's place right there off of 1010, and they're in the droves.
Yeah,
there's like 50 to 100 there every day.
It's ridiculous.
Problem is you can't shoot guns there. A
lot of people don't want you to. Oh, they're my pet geese. I feed them corn.
I'm not even gonna lie. So this is probably, granted, this is, what's this, 2020? So this is probably back in like 2002. We had some, they were tearing up the beans. I rode down there in a backhoe, kicked open the door, took a shotgun, shot like 10, 15 of them, put them in the daggone thing. Because we had a deprivation permit. Yeah. They were tearing the beans up.
Yeah, they will.
And this woman across the field in her house went crazy. She called the law on me the whole night. I had to show the sheriff. I was like, I got a deprivation permit. They're tearing up the beans, and I'm not maliciously killing them.
Yeah.
They're just horrible. But now you can't even shoot down there. There's so many houses and stuff. I can't even shoot down there.
It's crazy. And like everywhere you go, like I know the boy that works for me, Will. They went somewhere right there outside of Fuquay, and they had a place where they could kill the crap out of them. But they had a guy they had a house that was like they were far enough away. It was like 500 yards from him, but he was standing out there at his back porch, and they like basically backed up to their field and was just banging pots and pans. And every time the geese would come in, he'd start screaming.
Lord help!
Like man, and then they called the game warden. And the game warden's like, "That's not hunter harassment. He's on his property." I'm like, he's actually harassing the hunter while they are hunting.
I think that's hunter. Well, I don't think they want to get in the middle of it. Today's climate's probably a little tough. But so New York, where else?
I've gone to Arkansas,
obviously.
Yes, of course, and then that's about it, man.
Really no Kansas.
I'm going to Kansas in January with Parnell.
Okay,
I'm going with Joe and them. We're going the 11th through the 15th. So and they're smashing them right now.
Kansas is one place, and to me that's a sleeper state. Everybody forgets, but Kansas knocks it down.
Dude, they killed them last year, and they've been killing them pretty good so far this year. So we're really looking forward to going with the Parnell Outdoor guys. I've been friends with Joel about since the beginning of this whole thing.
Really?
And he started buying my hats, and I started posting stuff, and then we struck a conversation, and then through the years, now he works when he's not guiding after his all guiding stuff's done, he comes and runs some of my shows for me.
Yeah.
So and helps me out at the Dixie Deer Classic and he helped me at the Nashville show and the Pennsylvania show. So.
Okay, all right. So you going to Kansas this year? What's a right off the gate? I have one that I want to go to, but what's the state you haven't been to you'd love to go to? Maine. Really?
I have a friend in Maine, and he's right there above where the Canada border is, and they banned a lot of ducks on the Canadian border.
Okay.
He goes every hunt and gets 10 bands. And
see,
he kills eiders. And then he can go there and kill eiders. He can kill. He has constantly killing geese, constantly killing wood ducks, mallards, gabble. He gets it all. It's everything is right there in Maine, and a lot of times they don't ever come past Maine because they don't get cold enough.
Right.
And
I would have never guessed that. I was gonna say just me being. Of course, I don't know that much about duck hunting, but me being ignorant to it, I was gonna say Alaska. That's where the king eider is.
Yeah, I would love to do that, but that's too cold. I don't want to be that cold.
I got to say they talk like that. That you got to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
You got to. But
I'd love to kill a harlequin, but I have a friend in Washington, and Ryan Polaway. He lived here in North Carolina, and just moved out to Washington this year. And
picked a bad time to go there.
Yeah, I know. But he says he says better in North Carolina.
Really?
He says that you have. It depends where you go. You
know
what I mean?
I think that's anything.
And he says, if you stay away from the places that are negative, then you don't have to worry about it. But he said there's constantly there's a crap ton of ducks. There's a crap ton of geese everywhere. Yeah. And he said he went out there and he met a guy at a outdoor store, and he said that they've been friends and they kind of struck a relationship and went out there and killed a couple harlequin with him.
I like it.
So he's like, man, next year we'll go out there. He said the guy didn't care if I go back over there. So he's like, let's go kill a harlequin. So
that's cool. So Maine or possibly Washington, I got to say. So out of your experience, what was and of course now this is all depending on weather and timing and everything. Where did you hunt where you just slayed them? It was a nonstop. It was the most action, the most fun you've ever had.
For geese, Arkansas.
Really?
Arkansas snow goose season. I hunted with Jonathan Olson out there at Snow Diction Guide Service, and that joker is crazy. I was gonna say, I think everybody would automatically think Arkansas because they're kind of in that middle ground. For the ducks, it was Hyde County.
Really?
Hyde County it's like 2018. I carried my little brother down there, and that's when you killed two. I think it was 17 or 18. I carried my little brother, and we killed a limited pintails, limited mallards, killed some gadwall, killed some shovelers.
See, to me, that's a pintail. Yeah. I don't have a duck mounted, but a pintail. Yeah. I'm spending bank to get a pintail mounted.
Yeah, and so I got that, and that was probably the most fun. And I'm watching my brother because me and the guide. It was me, my guide, and which was Matthew. He's or John Matthew, John Eakes, whatever. It was he was working at Dairy High at the time, and we went with him. The impoundment had a bunch of blinds, but he's like, man, the ducks are going right here. We're going to sit right here on these chairs in this little tree line. And so we sat in this tree line, and man, the ducks just
did a good time.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And I let my little brother. He was 14 or 12, 14. He was young.
Yeah.
And I watched him kill his first pintail, and that was freaking awesome. He was so pumped up, and then it was the last bird of the day. We had already pretty much, me and the guy both killed our 2 pintails. We killed our mallards. My brother, he was doing good. He killed a couple. He killed a stud greenhead. And then he was like, man, I want to kill me a shoveler. For me, I'm like, I was like, but I was like, man, he thinks it looks good.
It could have been worse. He could have been aiming for a merganser.
And he was like, he's like, I want to kill a shoveler. I said, man, kill you a shoveler. So we waited, and we had ducks freaking everywhere. And we had 2 more birds left, and Seth could kill. He had 1 more pintail left, and he had 1 more spare bird he could get. And I was like, well, let's wait for a pretty shoveler to come in. Let's not wait for one that's not.
Let's not jump the gun. Let's get a good one.
Well, let's get a good one. So sure enough, we waited probably like 15, 20 minutes, and that shoveler came in, and he smoked it.
That's awesome.
That was all. He was pumped up. We went out there and got it. Then they were like, all right, let's. You got 1 more pintail to kill. Let's wait and kill this pintail. And sure enough, it took us a little longer to get the pintail, but 3 of them came straight down the hedgerow, flying over us. I said, Seth, pick up the biggest one, and first shot, he smokes the one in the middle, and goes down there, picks it up, and I ain't lying to you, I laid the head right here in my hand, and the pin was at my shoulder. That's how big that
That's
pin
awesome.
It was just stretched out. It was huge.
I'm telling you, that's a dream bird for me. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh!
What time of year was that?
This was in January.
Really?
Last week of the season.
I've had the best hunts I've ever had. In fact, it snowed. It's probably about the same year. It snowed like 4 inches and covered everything. And I went out to game lands and a little swamp off of number 1 and walked in there. Nobody wanted to go because it was too much snow and everything. We parked, walked in there and set up, and I mean, me and the boy I was with, we limited it out, and I was like, this is awesome.
I hunted with some boys in what do you call it, Sampson County.
Okay.
And I'm not getting out to, I'll say Sampson County. Sampson County's big, but it was out there, and we were in this hole. When I tell you, we were hunting this one hole in the beginning. He's like, man, they're right here. There's another big hole a little ways away. If we see them really dumping in there, we'll go there. So we get this hole, and we kill a couple wood ducks, and we see some mallards. But all the mallards, we just see ducks dumping in this big hole.
Right.
And he's like, man, and I had Penny. Penny was the only dog there, and there was about I think it was me, Josh, Cody, and then I think it was 3 of his friends. So there was a good group of us. So we went and we picked up everything we had there, carried it back to the ranger. Then we didn't have a path or anything this other hole. We just walked to it.
Right.
And he's like, we're just gonna kind of go where these ducks landing, and we're just gonna keep walking that way. We don't know
see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. So we were walking through these thickets, like knee deep mud.
Yeah.
Like it was killing us. And we finally get to this hole, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's big, open. There's some flooded timber on the right side, open in the middle, more flooded timber on the left.
You couldn't ask for nothing better.
No, we had blue wing, we had widgeon, we had there was a bunch of mallards, bunch of gadwall. There was a crap ton of ringnecks. But we went there and we were just picking them off. Wood ducks. We killed a limit of wood ducks. We kind of stopped shooting wood ducks, but there was probably more wood ducks there than I've ever seen in my life. But we killed a bunch of beautiful blue wings. Killed a bunch of mallards, a bunch of widgeon, and I shouldn't say a bunch of widgeon. We only killed like 2 widgeon, but it was awesome. They were beautiful. And then we killed a couple other ducks. I can't remember really what it was, but we ended up killing like 32 that day. But Penny was so tired, I had to almost like carry her back to the truck. Like That's crazy. Was so worn out. The last duck she picked up, she's like barely swimming. She's like, I'm tired.
I'm gonna tell you something. The one thing I like, that's one of the things I like about duck hunting, or like seeing. I don't have a dog, but I love watching a dog work.
It makes it so much more enjoyable now that I do have a dog. Like some of these hunts, like I went with Cody, my buddy Cody, a couple weeks ago before Thanksgiving, and I just went there to work Penny, man, and it was so awesome just letting the other guys shoot and letting her work, letting her do her thing,
watch her do what she's enjoying and what she was meant to do. That's awesome.
Having a dog has made it so much more enjoyable to me, I think. Yeah. It's brought a whole new light into it, Right.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Awesome.
I love it. So, all right. So, we'll wrap it up before we get to the Instagram stuff. So, from where you are right now, where do you see East Coast Waterfowl going? What's your goals?
So, I'd love one day to have like a storefront to where it's not like, your big box store.
Right.
But like, hey, you know, we're gonna have this as a warehouse, but maybe like a little store up front.
Right.
I'd love to be in a lot more retailers. Get into more.
I gotta say,
and more
you're
retailers.
actually in retailers, so you can come across your hats in a couple places. What are
Like
in around the area?
Dwayne's, Country Connection, Spring Hill.
Okay.
From the Heart in Goldsboro. I did have it in the news, but they kind of stopped because they got a new buyer in, and he was hard to contact with, and I kind of just gave up on the noose.
I got you.
But and I tried to contact that guy a couple more times, but I've gotten into a couple different places. I'm working on getting to the EJW down there.
I was about to say EJW would be a good one.
I'm talking to Morgan up there. I think that's her name, and try to get into the EJW, and then there is. Let's see, where's some other big stores right around this area. I can't think of the top of my head. I've gone blank. But
prior to all the COVID stuff, you did a lot of shows. How many shows did you do a year?
So I did North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia.
Okay.
And then that was my 3 that I always did.
Right. Did you ever make it down to Florida?
I did ICAST for Real Addicts, and that was a complete bust. Basically, you had people that big tackle box stores that were going there and meeting with their reps for like Columbia and all that stuff, but they weren't there to like shop around for anything else.
Right, that makes sense. It
was cool getting to meet everybody out there and do the whole ICAST thing. They had free stuff everywhere, so we went around and we racked up on a bunch of free stuff, but it was cool and it was enjoyable, but like. I probably won't ever go to another ICAST show. Last year I went to Pennsylvania, and they had Pennsylvania, and then we had in February, and then I had the Nashville, Tennessee show.
Yeah.
And then we had Dixie Deer Classic, and then we were supposed to have Dixie Deer Classic was right there when COVID just.
I know. I remember there was one guy walking around with a mask, and I was like, "Oh god!" It was right at the beginning of all this. It's got me scared. Like we're supposed to put our stuff. We got to like January. We got to like January something to put our stuff down and decide.
Yeah, I paid for my booth. That was when I said, "Well, I got Christmas money."
I think we did. I think we actually paid for it the day of because it's easier if you pay. But nevertheless, we've got till January to decide whether we're going to be there or not or whatever.
And I talked to the guy the other day, and he was like, "You're basically all the vendors going to have to wear their mask." Which I assume that was going to happen.
Right.
The South Carolina show. Oh, excuse me, back up. So. We're just going. I think there's really not going to be very much change, except they're going to have to limit some of the people that were coming to the show on Saturday. So, but other than that, really, it's not going to be much change. And but the South Carolina show, I went ahead and paid for that because they said that they're going to be doing it too. So I said, well, we're going to try. If anything, I'll just get my money back.
Well, it's like we were talking before the podcast. It's great to get out to these shows because we get to connect with all the people we see on the internet, and it brings some reality to everything because I feel like so many people they get into the internet, social media and stuff, and they don't have that human interaction. And when you give them that, that's when I find I get supporters for life.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's where I meet a lot of people. Like, hey man, you posted my picture, it made my day. Like, it's really cool to see that the other side of it. When people get excited to like, hey man, I really appreciate you.
Part of something,
you posted my picture. I have my hat on. And I'm going to give me a couple more hats so you can post my picture this year.
Yeah, they're telling you their stories, their experiences, and stuff like that. It's great.
I've met so many awesome people from doing, the shows. And that's the one thing I love about the shows is interacting with the people who interact with on Instagram, but I get to see them in person and continue that conversation and put a face. You on social media, you put a face to like someone.
Right, you see these people, but it's so much more in person.
Yeah, and like the people, like I have some friends in Florida that are like John Brown and Carlos. Yeah. They're from Florida. And man, like I was talking to him on Instagram, I posted pictures a lot, but like seeing him in person, now we text like all the time. Right. Call each other all the time. Like it's totally different. Like, and I have that in everywhere I go. Right. And I'd love to get into some shows in like Georgia or like New York, but I know there's one good one in New Jersey someone's told me about, but it's on a weekend I work, so that's the thing. So tough. But it is tough. But I'd love to get into some more shows. I just don't know how to look for them, or that are good, and they're going to be good, worth my drive. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, if you see this and you know of any good shows, share them with us, and we'll make sure him or me will both jump into them. We want to keep that side of it alive,
of course.
And then the next thing is, before we get to the Instagram questions, if you're the entire reason why you're here today is because we formed a relationship through these shows.
Exactly.
And throughout these, throughout this stuff, this interaction or whatever, we made a lot of friends. I've made a ton of friends.
I'm right there with you.
I mean, and it's like you go, literally, we went, that's how I got in with Conmans. You get in there, we're in there the day before, we're setting up. It's where everybody, and you're like, you see somebody struggling, hey, do you need some help?
Exactly.
Do you need this? Do you need that? You start, hey, you get talking to somebody, next thing you know, it's somebody from across the daggone country, and now you're good friends with them and stuff. So
it's crazy. There's so many good connections, and like especially like our connection. We were setting up, and you were talking to us, and we were talking to you, and then like the first day of the show, you came out and we did the video.
Yeah, we did
awesome.
One of the first YouTube videos we did was going around and showcasing from the Dix Deer Classic, and Kent and them was part of it, and it's actually done really good.
Y'all were on this side, and we were over here. And I had my mount that I just had gotten back from Jake.
Yeah. And
you were with him in his booth, and like everybody said, "Man, where'd you get that mount done?" I'm like, "Hey, he's right on the other side."
Right, go over there,
go there and see him, and it was awesome, man. It was really cool. And ever since then, we've been friends, man, and kept in touch. And every single year, always.
And the bad thing is, or the crazy thing is we don't live. You're probably like 3 miles from me, 4 miles.
It was like 2 miles, 4 minutes.
You're like, I'm going here, and it's like, boop, boop, there. I'm there. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then I see you around the town all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm incognito now, so I'm on the DL now.
I see that.
So, but that's cool. So let's go ahead. Let's see what questions we got. I'm sure there's a bunch of them. We'll see what we got. You might have to password.
Oh, here we go. I got it. Here we go.
All right.
Do y'all have pro staff team members? If so, how did I become one?
Okay.
So
that's a good question.
If you want to be a part of our pro staff or to become a team member, we have a little link on our website. And, the very bottom, scroll way bottom to the homepage. On the homepage, scroll to the very bottom, and it says become a team member.
Okay.
So you first become a team member. We give you a link to like share. Let you get some merchandise, and if we see that you are doing good and you are continuously promoting,
right,
repping our brand, sharing your link, your promo code with people. Then like after a year, we kind of do a review, and then okay, you can bump up the pro staff. You get more percentage off, more free stuff,
right?
And all that sort of stuff.
And there's a progression. There's there's a ladder there that you can climb and everything. That's cool.
And I know a lot of times, there's a lot of times that a lot of people some people die off, and then some people are really good.
Right.
And I've actually ran into one of my team members yesterday hunting with us at Wet Feather Outfitters. His name was Chad Briley. And I've been in contact with him for a couple of years. He's been a team member for a couple of years. But I'm so busy, and it's hard to keep up with the team member stuff. So I'm gonna do that. I made my goal. So didn't go through any of my team member stuff this year.
Okay.
And I gotta go through all my applications, and I'm gonna go through and kind of revamp it this March. That's kind of my goal. So if you have applied to become a team member and I haven't responded to you, I'm sorry. This year has been crazy. I've been super busy.
It's been crazy for everybody.
And I will get to them. It's probably around March. How do you guys get started? We've just read that one. So we just
watch the video. You'll see that.
Video, that's right. Where are we located? We are located in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's technically Raleigh, more like Willow Springs.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's like, "Oh, where do you live?" And I'm like, not really. You know,
it's like on the outskirts of like Garner, 4042. That whole area.
That's the number one thing I say. They said, "Where are you near?" I'm like 4042, and then they're like, "I know where you're at," and that's all they needed.
So that's basically where we're at. And right now, our shop is behind my house. So like anytime people need stuff, I just go back out there and talk to them and do it. And then how do you decoy puddlers? I say the best way to decoy puddlers is the little squirter butts. The butts that squirt, the butts that sit up the squirt.
Yep.
Like I feel like they've seen all the mojos in the world. If you're in the field and you're hunting the field for ducks, I'd say use a mojo. But like if you're in water, set you a nice decoy spread out. Not too crazy many. This time of year, you're gonna probably want like little family groups. But yeah, I say probably just get your butt squirters and about 12 decoys.
Okay. All right.
What brand decoys do we use? Man, I have a bunch of different decoys.
Dude, I don't think
I have Lifetime, Green Headgear, all that sort of stuff.
I got to say I won't get into them because I don't know who all you use, but to be honest with you, I don't think there's a right or wrong. There's some betters, but there's not.
No.
They can all work for the most part.
That's about it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. This is Kent from East Coast Waterfowl. We wrapped it up. This has been a good one. I've enjoyed it. And we'll be on to the next one for too long. Make sure you check us out on YouTube at Southern Release TV. Make sure you check us out at Instagram, Southern Release TV. Make sure you check us out on Facebook at Southern Release. By sure, if you, to be honest with you, you probably are already subscribed to East Coast Waterfowl, but make sure you check them out as well in the same places: YouTube, East Coast Waterfowl, YouTube or Instagram, East Coast Waterfowl, Facebook, East Coast Waterfowl, TikTok. Jump on Twitter. Maybe he'll get on Twitter and start doing some stuff.
Right.
Give him a hard time, but nothing else. We've really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to do another one. Maybe we'll do a follow-up. Maybe we'll make this a yearly thing. I've got some other guys that want to do this that are actually really good friends with you, and so maybe we can sit down and do them all. I'd love to get – I've got 3 other mics that we haven't hooked up, but we could really get a team in here. We could go crazy if we wanted to.
That'd be awesome.
So maybe we'll do that in the future. But hopefully you all enjoyed it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We look forward to the next one. And remember, it's all about the release.